Welcome to the 61st Annual Indiana High School Athletic Association Basketball Tournament, being played at Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, on March the 20th, 1971. Today's first game pits the Newcastle Trojans, coached by Cecil Tagg, against the Elkhart Blue Blazers, coached by Keith Doherty. Both clubs come into this tournament final session with a 21-6 record. Let's take a look at the Newcastle Trojans, coached by Tagg. Starting lineup will be John Martin, a 5'9" junior, along with Dave Snodgrass, a 6-foot junior at the guards. At center will be Kent Benson. He's 6'9" and only a sophomore. And at the forwards, Brent Popplewell, 6'1" senior, and Jerry Lamberson, who's a 6'4" senior. Also on the ball club, Kelly Cartwright, a junior, 6'2". Dave McSherry, a 5'11" sophomore. Joe Fuller, a senior who's 6'2". Dave Billingsley, 6'4" and a junior. Mike Lee, a 5'10" senior. Jerry Miller, a 6'2" junior. And Greg Bell, a 6-foot junior. Now a look at the Blue Blazers from Elkhart. Starting lineup at one forward will be John Babcock, a senior at 6 feet. The other forward will be Carl Macon, a senior. He's 6'5". The center is also 6'5", also a senior. That's Bill Davis. And the guard, senior and 6'2", Joe Lefevre. And the other guard is Reggie Underwood. He's 5'11" and a senior. Other members of the Elkhart Blue Blazer team, Tom Eastman, a 6'1" sophomore. Leo Joint, 5'10" and a junior. Ted Barnes, he's 5'9" and a junior. Phil Wiscatoni, a 5'11" junior. Schaefer Suggs, a 5'11" junior. Neil Beaverson, who's 6'3" and a junior. And Gary Beaverson, who's 6'8" and a senior. Just about set to go with the first game. Bob Showalter of Rushville will be throwing the ball up. Marion Acton of Mentone, the other official. The tip goes to Newcastle, knocked away and then picked up by Benson. Newcastle then White with the ball. John Martin, number 20, out back. Popplewell, 22, with the ball. Back to Martin. Under to Benson. And rebounded out of there by Babcock of Elkhart. Underwood shoots, no good. Tipped up and finally out of bounds. Knocked out by Benson of Newcastle. Throwing it in, Carl Macon for the Blazers. Out back to Underwood. Tries to pass underneath. We're going to have a foul called on Jerry Lamberson of Newcastle as he fouls Bill Davis of Elkhart on the pass. Bill Davis has one shot. The free toss is up and good. And Elkhart takes a lead in this ball game with just 40 seconds gone by, 1-0 over Newcastle. Man-to-man press being put on by the Blazers. Popplewell on the far side looking for the pattern, gets it to senior Jerry Lamberson. Popplewell from the corner, in and out, no good. Rebounded by Davis for Elkhart. Underwood puts it up, no good. Brought off underneath by Davis and good. It's 3-0. Elkhart out in front of Newcastle. Minute 15 gone by. Davis has all the points in the game. Man-to-man press for Elkhart and a traveling call against John Martin of Newcastle. It'll be thrown in on this side by Joe Lefevre, senior guard for the Blazers. Babcock, good. 5-0, Elkhart out in front. Press still being put on by the Blazers. Snodgrass from the corner, no good, and rebounded out by Davis for Elkhart. And the pivot to Macon, good. Carl Macon scores, 7-0, and a timeout has been called by Newcastle. Hold it. It appeared it was a timeout, but I guess not. Ball still in play. Popplewell to this side to Snodgrass. In and out, no good. Benson loses it, and it's picked up by Underwood of Elkhart. Lefevre from the corner. No good. Rebounded by Lefevre. Tries to go inside. Offensive foul, and Lefevre charging. 5:18 left to go in the first period. Elkhart still leads 7-0. Snodgrass's shot goes around and out. Rebounded on the far side by Underwood. Newcastle cannot find the range. Babcock open. It's way short and is pulled off underneath by Popplewell out front to Martin. Underneath the Popplewell. Puts it up. No good. Rebounded out by Macon. Newcastle using a 2-3 zone. Davis on the baseline and Popplewell rebounds. Snodgrass from out back. No good. Rebounds his own shot off the hands of Benson. Turns, fires again. Again, it's no good. Rebounded by Lamberson, and I believe he's going to be fouled by Lefevre, and that's 2. Jerry Lamberson finally gets the first point for Newcastle. It's 7-1. Elkhart out in front. 4:24 left to go in the first quarter of the first game. It was a press by Newcastle and broken easily by Elkhart. No basket and a whistle. A charging call against Macon. That's his first. Elkhart still using that man-to-man press. Newcastle moves up court with the ball. Martin tried to go inside and was kicked out of bounds by Davis. 5'9" junior John Martin throws it in to Snodgrass. Shot's good. First bucket for Newcastle. They're down 4, 7-3. It was knocked off the hands of Popplewell out of bounds. It'll be thrown in by Elkhart. Reggie Underwood will toss it in for the Blazers. 2-3 zone still being used by Newcastle. Tries to go underneath. Almost lost, and then stolen away by Snodgrass. He almost loses it again. Now control. Beats Martin. Snodgrass puts it up and in. Basket counts. And the foul is on Snodgrass for charging his second basket. Schaefer Suggs, who's now in the lineup, got the free toss. And it is 8-5. Elkhart out in front by 3. 3:29 left to go, first period. Popplewell leaves it up. Off there, no good. Tipped up and in by Benson. First basket for Big Kent Benson. 8-7. Elkhart by 1. Zone press again by Newcastle. Shooting it up and dropping it through was Macon, his second basket. 10-7. Elkhart by 3. 3 minutes exactly left in the first period. Out back, off the front of the rim by Snodgrass, no good. Rebounded underneath by Babcock for Elkhart. The Blue Blazers with the ball, this side to Suggs. He flips it off to Davis, who hits his second basket. And Elkhart once again out in front by 5, 12-7. 2.5 minutes left, first period. Elkhart now has dropped off the press. We're picking them up after they come down court. Popplewell off the back of the rim, no good. Lamberson's got it, puts it up and in. 12-9, Newcastle down by 3. Zone press, again by Elkhart. The foul is called on Lamberson, and that's his second. With the ball is Reggie Underwood. Underwood to Suggs. Goes underneath to Macon. Comes back outside. No good. Here comes Newcastle on the run, and Martin can't handle it and goes out of bounds. Coming down court with it is Reggie Underwood. Bounces in the middle to Macon. Puts it up off the front of the rim. No good. Rebounded underneath by Babcock, and he traveled. Popplewell with the ball on the pivot. Outside to Martin. A long one-hander. No good. Pulled out of there very quickly by Reggie Underwood. He's on the run. All the way. Puts it up. No good. Tipped up by Macon. No good. Rebounded by Kent Benson for Newcastle. Lamberson from the side. Good. And again, Newcastle is within one, 12-11. Zone press being put on by the Blazers. Schaefer Suggs with the ball off to Macon. Macon looks for the shot, puts it up and in. 3 baskets for big Carl Macon, a 6'5" senior. 14-11. Elkhart again by 3. 48 seconds left to go in the first period. Popplewell from outside. Good. His first basket. Newcastle trailing by 1. 14-13. Macon to the baseline. Up. No good. Rebounded out by Lamberson. On the run comes Newcastle. 3-on-1. And trying to pass it underneath was Snodgrass and went off the hands of Macon out of bounds. Joe Lefevre back in the ball game for Elkhart, replacing Schaefer Suggs. Newcastle with the ball. 20 seconds to go, first period. Martin from outside. Good. And for the first time in the ball game, the Newcastle Trojans have taken the lead, 15-14, 7 seconds, 6, 5. Ball over in the corner. Lefevre doesn't see the clock, and there's the end of the first quarter with the score. Newcastle 15, Elkhart 14. Macon jumping with Lamberson. They'll jump it over. Neither boy really got a hand on it. Carl Macon 6'5", Jerry Lamberson 6'4". Benson grabs it for Newcastle. Oh, Lamberson can't handle the ball. 15-14. Newcastle out in front. Elkhart working around the 2-3 zone. Tries to throw underneath. Knocked away. Picked up by Babcock for the Blazers. Off to Macon. Shot off the back of the rim. No good. Tipped up by Davis. No good. A whistle underneath. And a foul on Lamberson. Davis at the line with one. In and out. No good. And Benson takes it off of there for the Trojans. Way out back, Snodgrass, no good. Tipped up by Lamberson, no good. Again by Lamberson, no good. Finally pulled off on the far side by Davis of the Blazers. Reggie Underwood, out back for Elkhart to Lefevre. This side to Babcock. 2-3 zone for Newcastle. Underwood puts it up around the rim, no good. Pulled off finally by Benson. Out front to Popplewell. Elkhart playing a man-to-man. Tries to throw underneath the Lamberson, gets away, and is grabbed by Reggie Underwood of Elkhart. Lefevre from out back. Back of the rim, no good. Benson rebounds for Newcastle. Underneath to Benson, puts it up. It is off the rim, no good. Pulled off of there by Macon of the Elkhart Blue Blazers. Neither team particularly hot on the basket in this game. Lefevre from the corner, off the rim. Out front to Martin, almost loses it, picks it back up. Underneath to Martin, can't get it over Macon, backs off, puts it up, no good. Lamberson's got it, puts it up and scores. And a foul has been called underneath on Davis. Jerry Lamberson at the line, a free toss off the front of the rim, no good. 17-14, Newcastle's biggest lead. 5:54 left to go in the first half, and it goes off the leg of Lefevre and out of bounds. It was knocked away by Popplewell and off of Lefevre. So Newcastle will bring up court against the Elkhart Blazers. A whistle on that shot. I don't believe the shot counted. It did not. Traveling call by referee Marion Acton. Reggie Underwood of Elkhart beats Babcock. Still a zone for Newcastle, a 2-3 zone to Macon. Babcock from way out back. Good. Newcastle with the ball. Underneath the Lamberson, knocked away. Jerry gets it back. 10-footer by Lamberson, no good. Brought off by Lamberson, loses it, picked up by Macon, and a whistle has been called against Jerry Lamberson, I believe, and that will be his third foul. Carl Macon made the free toss to tie the score at 17-all with 4:57 left to go in the first half. Lamberson is out of the ball game, and 6'4" junior Dave Billingsley is in for Newcastle. Benson puts it up, no good. A whistle, and we may have a foul on Benson for just leaning over his man. First foul on the 6'9" sophomore. The ball control foul brought in bounds by Elkhart. Underwood from behind the foul circle, off the back of the rim, brought off by Benson, and we're going to have a foul called on Macon for grabbing Benson, and that's his second. Kent Benson at the line. The free toss is good. It's a 1-and-1 situation. He'll have another. 4:37 left to go. First half. Newcastle now out in front by 1. 18-17. Off the back of the rim. No good. Tipped up by Billingsley. No good. And brought off by Elkhart. Underwood to Lefevre. To Macon. From the corner. No good. Brought off by Underwood for the Blazers. To Macon. Up again. No good, and rebounded by Billingsley for Newcastle. Way out back, John Martin misses everything and goes out of bounds. Babcock with the ball for Elkhart to Underwood, to Babcock, open over the zone, off the rim, no good. Tipped up by Davis, no good. Tipped up by Macon, no good. Again by Davis, no good. Again by Macon, this time it's good. Elkhart now in front, 19-18, 3:45 left first half. Snodgrass from out back, good. Getting a press from Newcastle that time, a zone press. They lead 20-19. Underneath to Davis, puts it up and in. Billingsley from outside, good. Newcastle again using his own press. They lead 22-21, wide open. A whistle, and I believe we're going to get a foul on Benson. And we may get a goaltending call. I don't know. Let's see. There's no goaltending call, so Davis gets 2 shots. He misses the first one. He's now hit 1 of 3 from the line. He'll have another. If he hits it, he can tie the score at 22-all. He does not, and Benson rebounds for Newcastle. 2:50 to go first half. Newcastle leads by 1, 22-21. Man-to-man defense being used by Elkhart. Benson puts it up, no good. Billingsley's got it. He puts it up, no good. Foul from behind, Reggie Underwood. Billingsley missed the first free throw, made the second. It's 23-21. Mike Lee in the ballgame replacing Martin for Newcastle. Lee is 32. Newcastle still in that 2-3 zone. They've been playing all the game. Popplewell with the steal. Billingsley really forced it. Popplewell knocks it out back to Benson. Snodgrass hits his 4th basket. Newcastle has its biggest lead of the ballgame, 25-21. Macon from the side. No good. Tipped up, no good. Brought off by Benson, doing a good rebounding job. Snodgrass stops, gives Billingsley. Mike Lee with the ball. Snodgrass fakes, shoots, scores. 5 baskets for Dave Snodgrass. 27-21. Newcastle by 6. A minute 30 left to go in the first half. Biggest lead the Trojans have had. Macon again hits. Macon has 5 baskets, 11 points for Elkhart. Off the hands of Popplewell and grabbed by Reggie Underwood. 27-23, traveled, I believe. Newcastle out front by 4, 27-23. Billingsley from way out the side, off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Lefevre for Elkhart. Underneath Macon, puts it up over Benson, good. 6 baskets for Carl Macon. Elkhart's narrowed the gap to 2, 27-25. Inside's Popplewell, no good. Macon rebound. So Elkhart with a chance to tie with 25 seconds to go in the half. Lefevre has the open shot. Off the front of the rim, tipped up, and again no good. Brought off by Macon, puts it up, no good. Tipped by Davis, no good. Brought off by Davis, up and in. 27 all, 7 seconds, 6 seconds. Way out back Snodgrass, way short. With the ball is Macon, 1 second. Long shot is over the bankboard, and that's the end of the first half. Elkhart 27, Newcastle 27. Second half about to get underway. Same team starting the second half that started the first, and Jerry Lamberson is back in the ball game for Newcastle, the only player in foul trouble for either team with 3. He's jumping with Macon, gets the tip, and it's taken by Popplewell of Newcastle on this side. Man-to-man defense for Elkhart, whistle, and a foul called on Babcock of Elkhart. Brent Popplewell at the line with 1. He's got it. And Newcastle has gone in front 28-27 here with just 15 seconds gone by in the second half. Babcock outside, off the rim, no good. Tipped up, no good. Lamberson rebounds for Newcastle. Snodgrass puts it up and in. 6 baskets for Dave Snodgrass. He had 10 in the first half, 10 points. 30-27. Newcastle in front by 3. Davis shoots, blocked by Benson. Macon puts it up, no good. Again, no good. Out back by Underwood, drives up, no good. Benson takes it out, throws off to Popplewell. Tries to feed Snodgrass, and Lefevre comes up with it for Elkhart. Macon shoots, no good. Benson rebounds, on the run comes Newcastle. Snodgrass, Camarton, outside to Popplewell. Knocked out of bounds by Popplewell. Elkhart's ball. Underneath to Davis, he's fouled by Lamberson, and that is 4 on Jerry Lamberson. Coach Seastag has Billingsley back in, replacing Lamberson as Davis hits the free toss, and it is 30-28. Newcastle by 2. We're in the third quarter, 6:28. Benson's shot off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Davis out front to Lefevre. Knocked out of bounds by Popplewell. Good move. Three-two zone for Newcastle. Underwood in the lane. Feeds underneath to Davis beautifully, and Davis gets his 5th basket. Score tied, 30 all. Billingsley outside with it for Newcastle. Snodgrass fakes, puts it up, off the rim, no good. And again, Underwood with the rebound for Elkhart, almost throws it away. Lefevre saves, gives Macon. Davis open, back of the rim, no good. Macon tips, no good. Again by Macon, and good. Elkhart down front by 2, 32-30. 5.5 minutes left. Shot up by Popplewell, no good. Big Carl Macon sweeps the boards for Elkhart. Davis puts it up. No good. Popplewell rebounds. It's been a seesaw ball game all the way. The big boy Benson up and in. 32 all. 4:50 left third period. From outside, no good by Babcock. Gets his own rebound, puts it up. No good, and is pulled off by John Martin. Biggest lead for Elkhart has been 7. The biggest lead for Newcastle has been 6, and it's thrown out of bounds by Martin. Babcock to Underwood. Goes the lane. Feeds underneath. Whistle. Traveling called on Underwood. Martin to Benson. Out back to Billingsley. Off the front of the rim. No good. Lefevre rebounds for the Blazers. Macon open. Hits. 8 baskets for Carl Macon. He's got 15 points. Or rather, 17 points. 34-32 Elkhart. 4 minutes left, third period. Nice shot by Snodgrass, but he missed it. Macon rebounds for Elkhart. Almost loses out of bounds, does. It'll be Newcastle's ball. Elkhart playing a man-to-man defense. John Martin with the ball for the Trojans. Snodgrass puts it up off the rim, no good. Billingsley's got it, couldn't get the shot. Beats Snodgrass. He tries to feed Martin, does, and off. He saves it from out of bounds off the knees of Macon. Out back, Popplewell, no good. Benson tips in. 34 all, 3:10 left, third period. Underwood open. Back of the rim, no good. Macon tips, no good. Davis tips, no good. And is pulled out of there by Billingsley, jump ball. Tipped up by Babcock, grabbed out of the air by Billingsley, but he was on the jump and he cannot catch it till it touches another player or goes out of bounds. It'll be thrown in far side Elkhart. Babcock open, short. Babcock tries to rebound, and we may have a foul on Babcock. We do. John Martin made the free toss for Newcastle. They're out in front again by 1, 35-34. Tries to feed underneath. Underwood does. And it's underneath the Snodgrass. Lays it up and in. (37-34) Elkhart. 2.5 minutes left. Third period. Lefevre way out back. Good. First basket for Lefevre. Martin to Snodgrass for Newcastle. Puts it up, and he's fouled by Underwood. Dave Snodgrass made his first free toss, misses a second one, but Benson tips it in. 4 buckets for Ken Benson, and a 4-point lead for Newcastle, 40-36. 2 minutes to go in the third period. Still that zone for Newcastle. From outside, Macon, no good. Davis got it, blocked by Benson. Lefevre's got it in. Newcastle with the ball. Elkhart went into a man-to-man press. Minute and a half left, third period. Man-to-man defense for Elkhart. Billingsley open. In and out, no good. Rebounded out by Babcock, out front to Lefevre. 1-on-3, looks for Macon, tipped away and out of bounds by Popplewell. Lefevre to Underwood. Macon from the side, off the rim, no good. Lefevre rebounds, knocked away by Popplewell, and we're going to get a foul on Popplewell. That's his first. Lefevre's free toss was good. It's 40-39. Newcastle by 1. 55 seconds left, third period. Popplewell to Snodgrass. Puts it up and in. 8 buckets, Dave Snodgrass. 42-39. Newcastle in front. Stolen and off the foot of Lefevre, out of bounds. It was knocked away by Snodgrass. Man-to-man press continuing by Elkhart. Underneath the Snodgrass, fakes, puts it up. He's fouled by Underwood, but good. That's a third for Underwood. Snodgrass hit both free throws. It's 44-39 in favor of Newcastle. Ted Barnes in the game for Elkhart now. Way outside, Babcock hits. Long one by Martin off the rim, no good. Barnes rebounds off to Macon, and that is the end of the third quarter. Newcastle 44, Elkhart 41. Shot from outside by Popplewell is good, and it is 48-45. Newcastle leading Elkhart, 6:40 to go in the ball game. Long shot by Lefevre, back of the rim, no good. Martin tries to rebound. Babcock gets it for Elkhart. Babcock has scored here in the fourth quarter. So has Schaefer Suggs, who's in the game. Babcock shot, front of the rim, no good. And again he rebounds, and Lefevre's got it for Elkhart. Back of the rim, no good. Again Babcock rebounds it and almost kicks it out of bounds, but gets it back. Snodgrass and Popplewell have scored here in the fourth quarter for Newcastle. Babcock again outside, again off the back of the rim, no good. And a foul called on Popplewell as Macon comes off with the ball. One shot coming to Carl Macon, he gets it. He's got 19 or 18 points in the game, and it is 48-46, a 2-point lead for Newcastle. Press continuing man-to-man by Elkhart. Martin down court with it, stops, he's got the shot, no good. Tipped by Benson, no good. Rebounded by Macon. 5:50 left to go in the game. Biggest lead either team has had was a 7-0 lead by Elkhart early in the game. Still that zone by Newcastle, a 2-3 zone. Macon from outside, good. 9 baskets, Carl Macon. It's tied, 48 all. Knocked away and stolen by Babcock. Off to Macon. Macon open. Front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by little John Martin, who's only 5'9". Down court to Popplewell, he kicks it out of bounds. Jerry Lamberson back in the ball game for Newcastle, and he replaces Popplewell. They're going to be strong on the boards. Shot by Schaefer Suggs is good, and Elkhart is out in front. 50-48, 4:50 left to go. John Martin takes it across the line for the Trojans. Lamberson lays it up. It's good. Lamberson, who saddled for 4 fouls, ties it at 50 all. 4:27. Left to go. Lefevre from outside. Back of the rim, no good. Brought off on this side by Billingsley for Newcastle. Newcastle looks for the good shot. Outside, good by Lamberson. 5 buckets for Jerry Lamberson, who sat out a good part of this game with foul trouble. 52-50, Newcastle back in front. 3:45 to go. Schaefer Suggs shoots. In and out, no good. Grabbed by Macon of Elkhart. Feeds it back to Lefevre. Long one by Lefevre, good. Score tied, 52 all, 3:23 to go. Lamberson puts it up, no good. Benson tips, no good. Billingsley tries to tip and Macon rebounds for Elkhart. 3 minutes exactly remain in the game. 52 all. Davis can't get the shot. Travel. Timeout called Elkhart with the score tied, or rather by Newcastle with the score tied 52 all, 2:52 to go. The Trojans come up court with the ball. And Newcastle, or Elkhart's going into a zone defense. First time, I believe, in the game. Let's check it to be sure that it is a zone. Benson with it, puts it up and just no good. And Suggs rebounds for Elkhart. Newcastle stays in that zone. Lefevre open. In and out, no good. Tipped up and brought off on the far side by Jerry Lamberson for Newcastle. 2 minutes to go, 52 all. No, it's a man-to-man defense for Elkhart. Grabbed by Lefevre, but he kicked it first. It'll be Newcastle's ball out of bounds. Babcock coming back into the ball game for the Blazers, and he replaces Schaefer Suggs. Original starting lineup in the ball game for the Blazers. Billingsley almost threw it away, couldn't. Lamberson open on this side. It is no good. Tipped up and in by Benson. Benson got it. 54-52. Newcastle by 2. 1:20 to go. Macon up, in. Man-to-man press. Ball into Lamberson, 54 all, 1:05 to go. Macon has 22 points, 10 baskets, 2 free throws. Tries to throw it in, intercepted by Davis for Elkhart. 50 seconds. And Elkhart wants timeout with the score tied, 54 all. Long pass to Babcock. Man-to-man defense, Newcastle. Man-to-man defense for Newcastle. First time in the game. Macon, Underwood. Looks like they're going to go for the final shot. They may be playing for one. Timeout Elkhart with 32 seconds left. 54 all. 54 all, 32 seconds left. Timeout's over. Elkhart all ready to go again. Keith Doherty with final instructions for his ball club. Lefevre with the ball. Man to man. Underneath Macon with a little guy. Puts it up and in. 19 seconds left. Elkhart by 2. 56-54. Martin, 14, 13 seconds. Lamberson, 11, 10. Tries to throw it in. He's got it back. Throws it off. 6, 5. Snodgrass puts it up. Is in! Overtime, 56 all. A great bucket by Snodgrass. His 10th of the game ties it at 56 all with 2 seconds to go regulation. Three-minute overtime, all set to go. Newcastle played an overtime in the regional against Richmond. Tipped by Macon to Underwood for Elkhart. Newcastle back in the 2-3 zone. Elkhart looking for the good shot. Babcock shoots it. Good. 5 buckets for John Babcock. Man-to-man press again for Elkhart. They lead 58-56. 2:15 to go in the overtime. Lamberson looked for Benson, couldn't get it to him. Now he puts it up. No good. Rebounded out by Babcock of Elkhart. Two minutes to go. Elkhart now can play it cozy. They lead by 2. They can play it around the outside of that zone. Oh, almost intercepted underneath the Davis. Bounces out to Lefevre. Almost lost by Babcock. He gets it back. And Elkhart retains control. 58-56, the Blazers. 1:29 to go. Lefevre from outside. No good. Benson rebounds. Foul on Davis. Kent Benson at the line with a 1-and-1. He can tie it if he can get the first and second. It is no good. Macon rebounds. 1:20 to go. Pressure being put on by Newcastle. Davis has it knocked away, gets it back. Outside to Underwood. Newcastle putting the pressure on now. They're playing a man-to-man defense. 1 minute to go. 58-56. Elkhart loses it, and Benson steals. Throws Martin. 47 seconds. Martin open. Got it. Score tied. 58 all. 39 seconds to go in the overtime. Timeout Elkhart. They want to talk about it. Man-to-man defense for Newcastle. 30 seconds to go in the overtime. 58 all. 22 seconds. 20. Elkhart looking for the last shot. Lefevre may have it. Doesn't take it. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Lefevre open. Shoots. Misses. Billingsley rebounds. Out to Popplewell. 1 second. Long shot. Snodgrass no good. First overtime ends. 58 all. Second overtime period. Lamberson jumping with Macon of Elkhart. Tipped way in the air. Grabbed by Snodgrass of Newcastle. Martin bringing the ball up court. Man-to-man defense Elkhart. Newcastle obviously looking for the good shot. Billingsley almost loses it. Second overtime period. Score tied. 58 all. Been very few errors in this game, either team. .218 left to go. Whistle. Timeout Newcastle. Okay, overtime over, or rather timeout over. 2:16. He can go get it across the line. That's okay. For a moment, he was afraid he couldn't. Lamberson drives, stops, lays, misses. Benson tries to tip. Evans rebounds, or rather Davis rebounds for Elkhart. 58 all. 1:53 to go in the second overtime period. Newcastle back in that zone defense now. They don't have to force the action. Babcock. Front of the rim. No good. Rebounds. Up and in. Elkhart 60. Newcastle 58. Timeout Newcastle. Newcastle will bring the ball up court with 1:31 to go in the second overtime period. They trail by 2, 60-58. And Elkhart has dropped out now of that pressure they were putting on. Steal by Lefevre. Lefevre drives. Knocked away by Martin. He was standing out of bounds. It'll be Elkhart's ball. Newcastle has gone into a zone defense again. They'll try and put pressure on from that zone. Minute 9 to go. Elkhart leads 60-58. Underwood back to Lefevre. And a foul is going to be called on Snodgrass. That's his second. There still is no 1-and-1 situation for Elkhart. Joe Lefevre goes to the line for Elkhart, and the 1-and-1 is not in for Elkhart. He will have just one shot. He's had one attempt. He's made it. This one is no good. Macon rebounds for Elkhart. Now, if Newcastle fouls, we will have a 1-on-1 situation. 47 seconds. Foul called on Martin. Reggie Underwood, who has not scored in the game, has his big chance here. Free toss up. No good. Rebounded by Kent Benson. 60-58. Elkhart in front. 40 seconds to go. Knocked away. Picked up by Martin. Jump ball. Underwood, 5'11", Martin, 5'9", jumping in the center circle. Showalter puts it up, tip into the backcourt, and grabbed by Macon just before it goes out of bounds. 32-31, 30 seconds to go. Elkhart leads by 2. Man-to-man defense, Newcastle. Macon with it, foul by Lamberson, and that's 5 on Jerry Lamberson. One and one to Carl Macon. He's had 2. Made both of them miss that one. 60, 58, 19, 18, 17 seconds to go. Elkhart in front. Martin with it. Feeds Billingsley. They're going to have to put it up there. It's up. No good. Benson has it. Puts it up. It is no good. Foul called. Foul called underneath on Macon with 2 seconds to go. Kent Benson, a 6'9" sophomore with 2 shots, 2 seconds to go. First good. 60-59. What pressure on this young sophomore. If he can make this one, it'll be tied. We're in the second overtime. It's up. It's good. 60 all. 2 seconds. 1 second. Long shot, Underwood. No good. Just missed. We'll have a third overtime. Indiana high school basketball at its best. Third overtime. Newcastle 60. Elkhart 60. Macon tips. Grabs the ball. He caught it in the air. And we may have called another jump ball. No, Newcastle's ball. Newcastle's ball. They say it went off the hands of a Elkhart player and back into the hands of Macon. Billingsley turns, shoots, no good. Rebounded Macon. 2:45 remaining in the third overtime. 60-60. Lefevre feeds Macon. Newcastle back in that 2-3 zone now that they don't have to go get the ball. Elkhart looking for the good shot. Babcock almost had it, but Benson shut it off. 2:10 to go. Elkhart trying to pull Newcastle out of that zone, but it's tied 60 all. We're in the third overtime. Elkhart working the ball. Lefevre looks for it. Babcock with it. Back out to Underwood. Macon didn't take the shot. Looping pass. Snodgrass went after it, couldn't get it. Babcock from the corner. Good! He has put Elkhart in front in each of the 3 overtime periods. Babcock, 6-foot senior. From the side, no good by Popplewell, pulled off by Davis. And Elkhart leads 62-60 with 1:10 to go. Now Newcastle will have to come out and get the ball, force the action. That's what they're doing. Foul on Martin as he fouls Underwood. Reggie Underwood at the line with a 1-and-1. He missed earlier in an overtime period from up there. His team leads. Free toss. No good. And Billingsley rebounds for Newcastle. Billingsley open, shoots, misses. Popplewell's got it, works underneath, needs to pass it out, puts it up, he traveled. He traveled, no, 3-second rule. 3 seconds called, still 62-60. Long pass, Babcock puts it up, blocked by Benson, foul on Benson. 2 shots coming to John Babcock. His first free throws of the game. 36 seconds left. First one is no good. We mentioned just a little while ago, he hit a bucket at the start of each of the overtime periods to put Elkhart in front. Second one is good. 3-point lead for the Blazers. 63-60, 33 seconds. Newcastle's got to move it in there. Popplewell shoots. No good. Macon's got it. 20 seconds left. 18, 17, 16. Elkhart taking their time. They lead by 3. 13, 12. Underwood underneath the Babcock. Puts it up and in. 65-60. 3, 2, 1. Long shot Martin. No good. It's all over. The final score. 65 for Elkhart, 60 for Newcastle. We have 3 overtimes. And the Elkhart Blue Blazers move into tonight's championship game against either East Chicago, Washington, or Floyd Central. And what a basketball game it was. Final score, 65-60 in favor of Elkhart. This game being brought to you by the Indiana State High School Athletic Association, Phil Eskew, Commissioner. Incidentally, final scoring in the ball game saw John Babcock end up with 17 points, and 11 of those came in the overtime periods. The leading scorer, however, for Elkhart was Carl Macon, as he had 24. Top scorer for Newcastle, Dave Snodgrass, with 23 points, and Kent Benson scored 13, including 2 pressure free throws to send the game into the 3rd overtime.